guys, welcome back. I hope everyone had a wonderful week. I am super excited about today's video. I love how all the planters I made turned out. And I say that because I start a lot of projects and some of them are just, I get into it. I'm like, Jenny, what are you thinking? And I do film everything I start because once I have an idea, but there are a lot of times my idea does not work out. I could probably do a whole video of Jenny, what were you thinking projects, but all three of these worked out really well and I'm thrilled how they turned out. I did want to mention though, all the supplies I'm using, most of them are from the Dollar Tree, but the planters, they're all plastic and I did prime and spray paint all of them. I didn't put any of that footage into the video, which I mean, I don't think you really care to see me spray paint something, but I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. And I'm in Indiana and it's been so cold here and I don't have a garage to work in. We do have barns, but they're not done, dirt floor, no electricity. So I'm literally running out the back door, spray painting something real quick, and then bringing it back into the little nook area. And then I have a space heater set up. I crack the windows, let the paint fumes out. It is a whole process. But this week is supposed to get to the 60s. So keeping my fingers crossed, I'm so excited because there are a couple big projects I've been dying to get to and I can't do it when the weather's this cold. So I'm excited about that, but I really hope you guys enjoy this video and gives you ideas and inspirations again. Let me know down below, and if you do like it, subscribe and like. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, the first one we are starting with this small pot I found at Dollar Tree. I did prime and spray paint it white, as you can see here. I didn't get any footage of that. And I'm going to poke the holes with a small screwdriver. I just had to tap it several times and then they finally popped through. And I'm going to use this Rub and Buff and Gold Leaf. And I'm going to start going over the edges that kind of pop out. And I was thinking this is going to be clean lines, but as you can see, it was running over. They're just too close together. So this wasn't going the way I had planned, but I kept going with it. I was kind of liking how it was turning out. And then you will see me here. I will take even more after I'm done going through the whole around the whole thing, and I'm just going to take a little bit and actually go into the white spots more and kind of just buff a little bit more of that gold in there, and I think it turned out really cute. So now we're going to work on getting the wood dowels in there to make the actual stand. So I was trying out this styrofoam that is from the Dollar Tree. The wood dowels are also from the Dollar Tree, and I was sticking it in there to make sure it would work. And I did like how it looked. I decided I did want to go ahead and add color to the wood dowels. So I just used the Rub and Buff, and so it would match the gold on the planter, and painted all those with my finger. And then I let them dry and set up. And then I am going to switch out the styrofoam I am using because that didn't fit quite right at the bottom to get those wood dowels in. So I decided to try this one. Again, both the styrofoam are from the Dollar Tree, and that fit a lot better at the bottom. So I just had to cut it down, which really wasn't all that hard. As you can see, I just took my scissors. Probably not the best idea on the wood table, but it worked. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I was trying to decide what to do. I didn't want to get the glue gun out, so I went with the E6000, and this worked perfectly. I just had to let it set up for a little bit, but it wasn't a big deal at all. So I'm going to set that down in there. I'm going to let that dry and set up, and then I'm going to stick the wood dowels in, which I will glue these in as well, but I was trying to play around with it first and trying to make sure they sat right and it looked eye level, everything was straight. So once I got it the way I wanted it to sit, I did go in, as you can see, with the E6000 glue again and let all of that set up, and that worked really well. I haven't had any trouble with it. So once all that is dry, I'm going to work on the actual flower part. Well, I guess I didn't use flowers, but this was actually from the Dollar Tree also, and they are calling it onion grass. So I just used 4 of these and kind of stuck them in there sporadically. and it looked really, really cute. I love the height of it with this planter. And then I'm going to go in with Spanish moss, which this also, again, from the Dollar Tree. Everything on this project is from the Dollar Tree, so that's really awesome. So I just went in and filled that in a little bit, and you can see Bo, he was just itching to get into that. So I have a hard time having plants in my house. And here is the finished project. I absolutely love how it turned out, especially with the gold on the white planter, because I wasn't sure if that was going to come out okay, but it did. Let me know what you guys think. Alrighty, next I have this planter I found, and I am going to prime and spray paint that white as well. As you can see here, I already have a coat or two on it, but then I forgot I wanted to add these wood beads to the bottom to kind of make it stand up and make it a little bit more decorative. So I'm going to glue these on with the E6000, and then I'm going to go ahead and spray paint and give it a couple more coats with the beads on there as well, so those will be painted white too. Now that I have all that done, I'm going to start on the flowers, and I'm using the wood dowels and this styrofoam. And we have a couple of the styrofoam balls, which I'm having trouble with. But the styrofoam, I started putting it in the middle, and then I also needed it on both sides of that because we're going to be doing 3 dowel rods in there with some flowers on top of that. So I needed it to be spaced out evenly in the planter. So I'm cutting down this styrofoam to make it fit on either side of the bigger piece, so that way I have something to work with. And again, I'm not going to glue any of this down. I'm always like deconstructing planters and flowers and everything for our rentals, and we stage. So if you do want this to be more permanent, I would glue it down. And again, with this here as well, I'm not gluing it down, but you can to help make it stay more. But so I'm taking these little I keep saying flowers, I guess greenery, and I'm sticking them into the styrofoam ball. And the styrofoam balls are not from Dollar Tree. I think I had a pack of those from Amazon. It's something I had on hand, as well as the greenery. I do have a lot of greenery and florals on hand. But once I have that done, I'm going to stick the wood dowel in there and just check it to make sure I have all the styrofoam ball covered. And again, another tip, you can always spray paint the white styrofoam ball green to make it help even blend in more if you like. But once I got everything in there, I really could not see the white ball through the greenery in the end, so I left everything as is. So I'm going to repeat that process 2 more times because I'm making 3 of these in the end. So once I have all that done, going to get them stuck in there and see how it looks. Right here you can see I was having a little bit of trouble with that one. You will see in the next clip I do have to cut another piece of styrofoam to make that flower on the right stay up more straight. And there you can see. So once we have all that done, I'm getting into my Spanish moss again, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to fill that in the best I could. And the planter itself, I didn't do anything. I thought about maybe doing a stencil on it or like some transfers, but in the end I left it all plain and simple. I thought it looked really good this way, but I do love how this turned out. I mean, it's just simple and clean and pretty. So let me know what you guys think down below. Okay, the last project, it's a little bit more time consuming, but well worth it. I'm going to start with this big planter I found at the Dollar Tree, and I am going to be using the wood pieces all from the Dollar Tree as well. And right here, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I was going to go about this. I knew I wanted a stand for this planter, so I'm bringing that wood piece up there. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out the height, and then once I figured out the height of where I wanted the planter to sit on, I'm going to mark that wood piece. And this is going to have 4 sides, as you can see here. And then I'm trying to figure out the bottom, because obviously I don't want it to go over the bottom piece. I want it to fit together. So I am going to cut this wood into two separate pieces, so it'll make like a cross in the end. So here I'm just figuring out exactly where I'm going to need to cut and what size pieces I need. And I'm just using a Sawzall to do this outside. Again, really cold. That's why I have my fuzzy gloves on and my jacket and scarf. But it's real quick to do and easy. So once I got those cut, I am sanding it down a little bit because it wasn't a clean cut at the end. But not a big deal. I just sanded it down a little bit and got all the dust off there. And I'm going to check and make sure that it fits the way I want to before I go in, because I am going to do the cross piece again because I want this support to hold up really well. So you could probably get away with just doing one cross piece, but I did go back out and cut 2 more pieces of wood, and I'm going to lay it over that as well. And you'll see here in just a second. And first I'm going to go in with wood glue and glue everything again together, and I will go in and be screwing all these pieces together as well to make sure it's really sturdy, which I know the planter is plastic and it doesn't weigh that much, but I just wanted to make sure in the long run, if I wanted to put something a little bit heavier in there, I wasn't going to worry about it falling apart on me. So here I'm just wood gluing everything again, and then once I have it the way I want, I'm just going to go in with a damp rag and wipe off some of the excess glue around the sides. But I am going to let this dry for 24 hours before I go back in and start screwing everything together. Okay, next I'm going to be using my drill bit, and it's the 3/32. And the screws I'm going to be using are 1 1/4 inch long. So I'm going to start by using my drill bit, and I'm going to go in and pre-drill my holes everywhere that I'm going to be using the screws, because this wood is a really soft wood. I've used it in a couple of my DIYs, and I was really afraid of it splintering and cracking, so that's the reason why I'm doing the pre-drilling on all this. So on the cross beam that I'm using for support, I pre-drilled a hole in the middle, and then I'm going to just go around and drill 1 more hole on every single side. So again, pre-drilling here. So now I am going to go in and start screwing all those pieces together where I have pre-drilled. Okay, and once I have that done, I'm going to work on the outer pieces. And if you remember before, I already had one of those boards marked with a line where the top of the cross beam was hitting. So I'm just taking the other boards and marking a line across those as well. So now I'm going to take my cross beam, because I need to figure out where I need to screw in through the outer pieces into the cross beam. So right here, I'm taking it, I'm lining it up to the top of that line I had made, and I'm going to make another line on the other side of the cross beam to figure out the middle, because I'm going to be putting 2 screws in. Okay, so now I'm going to make a little, just small dot, making the center in between those 2 lines, because I will be screwing in between the little circle and the line. So I'll be doing 2 screws. But now I'm going to take all my boards and just finish marking them, the bottom of the cross beam, a line there, and then making a dot in the center between those 2 lines as well. So now again, I'm going to pre-drill all these before I actually screw all of them together. So you can see here, I'm just going in the middle between the little dot I made and the line. So they're each going to get screwed in twice. Okay, once I have all that done, it is time to go ahead and start screwing everything together. So as you can see here, where I pre-drilled every single hole, I'm just going to go in and screw each piece together. once I have that all together, I'm going to show you a little trick my husband taught me. So I need to spray paint this outside and it's too cold to leave out there. So I'm going to drill a little screw on the bottom, not all the way in. And I just have a piece of twine and I'm going to tie that in a knot, double knot it. So that way I have something to hold on to and I can spray it real quick and then bring it in. So now we're going to start on the final part, and here is the pot all painted with that stone texture spray that I love. And I'm just going to fill the bottom with some plastic grocery bags, and this styrofoam, once you press it in a little bit, fit perfectly, and it was just the right size. I don't need it completely covered. And again, this is greenery I had on hand, but you can use anything you'd like, flowers, greenery, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to push that in the middle, and I'm just going to take the extra I have and make sure I have it all filled in. Again, I'm not gluing anything down in this. And then I have some more Spanish moss. This Spanish moss I had on hand. I'm not sure where I got it from. I apologize. But I'm just going to fill that in to make sure nothing is showing through on the sides. And here is the finished product. I love how it turned out. I went with the brown on the stand because in that stone texture spray on the planter itself, it has little speckles of brown. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, but it looks really well together with the brown stand. So I love how this turned out, and I hope this gave you some ideas or inspiration. Let me know what you guys think. See you next time.